guys, how are you? My name is Krista. If this is the first time you've stumbled across my channel, I am also known as Little Wren. If you can see a whole heap of smoke, don't worry, the house is not on fire. I put some incense, but I've got this a new thing, and maybe I'm being a little excessive. I really wanted to kind of clear the energy, and so I might be drowning in smoke at the moment, but it is just incense. I wanted to come yesterday. Actually, I was really keen to come and do a reading, and I kind of couldn't. I was meant to be building a shed, and I hired a handyman guy to come in to help me. And we got halfway through the project, and it was because we started quite late and we didn't get all the way through it, and the sun was hot. I was a bit sunburned, and I really had to help him. And it wasn't, I wouldn't describe it as the loveliest experience. I found it, I'm not sure if I'm going to expound too much on it, but it just wasn't, to me, it wasn't a pleasant experience. And I actually felt quite objectified, and really, like, there was a lot of, I guess, flirtation, and he was quite an older gentleman, someone I'd met before, and it was just constant innuendo. And I was kind of playing the game, but really only because I was with him for like 4.5 hours, and we still haven't finished the shed. And he did actually have to come back this morning to help out, and he came, but it started pouring with rain, so we couldn't do it. And I don't know when he's going to come back, but we're looking at another day. Anyway, I'm just rambling. But I really, it was a really uncomfortable, unpleasant experience. And I know a lot of masculines watch this energy, been watching, masculines are watching this channel. And I'm not sure if I'm bringing this up because I think there's something that in this experience as a woman, I think maybe it's something that we've got to discuss a little bit. It's about, I guess, looking at how our perception of gender, and I'm saying gender because this is a woman thing, but there is that, I guess the word is objectification. If you don't know what it is, then I think it's really time to start to delve into it and to understand what objectification is. Now, this can happen on either side of the gender thing. It's really when a person is treated as an object and not really given empathy, or treated as an intelligent, feeling, emotional human being. So hold on a second. Sorry about that. I just had to get up. I just wanted to close the door because sometimes I have neighbors that knock on my door, and I just don't want to get interrupted. Anyway, objectification is really when, you're not treated or regarded as a human being, but rather literally as an object, as someone who is to be used, and not treated as someone who has feelings and emotions or intelligence. And there's no respect for those things. I'm going to use the word sentience. it's the intelligent being, and yeah, a being with a consciousness, and yesterday was a really awful experience for me, and it was something that where this person came into my home, and really it was almost like held ransom. I'm in my own personal space. He interrogated me basically about why I'm single. And he noticed everything that was new. He looked kind of through all the stuff that was under my carport, which is a whole heap of stuff, because I'm building a shed because I have no garden shed, and I need somewhere to put my garden tools and all that kind of stuff. And he noticed everything from my new tires, my on the car. He was looking at everything, and he pinpointed everything, and I had to really, he didn't stop asking questions, and then the grandiosity of the meeting, and he just kept going on about how he'd been a millionaire several times, and how he lost it. He'd been married or been in partnerships like 6 times, and as if he was boasting about it, which really was more and more of a turn off. The more he talked, the more turned off I became. But it was all about, I don't know, it was like sizing. I felt like I was being sized up, and then kind of he tried to almost like dominate me, like not just to impress, but it was like, it felt like a power play. And I actually stepped unwittingly into a role where I went along playing the game, because actually I felt unsafe. And I also felt like if I didn't stand up for myself, that I would be left with half a puzzle piece of this shed, which was actually quite complicated to put together. And yeah, kind of, yeah, stuck with it. And he did come last minute, and he fitted me in, and I was like really grateful. But literally the minute he stepped out of the car, he'd brought up sex. Because I was like, I had said to him, look, I'm so grateful, thank you. The guy that I who said he was going to put up the shed ended up falling through, and he kept making up excuses. And so I said, look, I'll get another person, so thank you for coming at the right minute. And he goes, oh, what did he want, sex? And I was like, what? And this was immediately as soon as he stepped out of the car. And it just kind of, and I really was like, well, no, because that's not going to happen, you know. But it was an immediate kind of test, you know, and it just happened. And I had 4.5 hours of having to hear all that. And I'm telling you guys, because I want you to know that it's not this is not, please don't hear this as an attack. I just want to share what it's like. And this can happen to you guys as well. This can happen to men. Women can do this to men as well, where men are treated like a slave. You know, it's like the woman demands something and the man is expected to fix and solve their problems, because a man's natural desire is to kind of fix things and be of service and be they like to be needed. It's quite threatening when a woman doesn't need to be needed. They can manage on their own and they're okay, you know. But it's the same thing, like it can go either across genders. Gender is actually irrelevant. But this is coming up for an obvious reason. And for me, I was, like yesterday, I'm telling you, I was absolutely exhausted. And today he was supposed to come back, and he did. And he pulled up and the rain just came down. It just went like this, it just, the heavens opened and it just, this heavy rain. And I he was in the car and I waved at him and I said, just go, you know. And he didn't. He got out of the car, came under the carport where I was standing, and then we had like a half-hour conversation, and he was almost settling in, ready to stay, and he immediately started talking about my house and what I could fix, and it just started all over again. And I was like, well, why don't you just, I actually was a bit more prepared for it today. Yesterday I was unprepared, and I had to I actually changed my energy, and I kind of was like, well, why don't you, and stepped into that kind of more masculine energy and was like, well, why don't you go home and just enjoy the day? Had to drop my voice, and make up an excuse that I had other plans, and, you know, we're good, we'll organize another day. And the energy changed, but I had to flip into that change, and it's just, you know, it just sucks, doesn't it? Doesn't it just suck when you're trying to be nice, but in the long run, actually, it's just that mask wearing, I think, that we all do, and it's just not pleasant. It's not, and I'm beginning to realize, like, I was like, it sucks, but I have to be prepared, and I have to think about things that I can say to shut down certain parts of the conversation that I'm not opening them up. And that's a horrible thing to have to do, but it is reality, unfortunately. So anyway, let's just see where this goes. Yesterday, I was more thinking a lot about healing and the sacral chakra. Again, I was called back to look at another reading that I did on YouTube, and it was the Australian thunderstorm sacral chakra. And what I realized is that the thing that's been coming up continually in the readings is the sacral chakra, and that is the pleasure center. And I was going to do something and be more prepared, but maybe what I'm talking about in this event that's happened for me yesterday has something to do with that. And I think sometimes the one thing that I did learn was that it was the energy. It was that I was giving up too much energy, and it sapped my energy, and it made me absolutely, in the end, quite upset, feeling quite angry and frustrated and just annoyed. But actually, the only person that I could blame is myself, because I just went along with it. And I realized that I don't have to, but I just have to learn how to handle it. And so, yeah, so I felt better equipped today to handle that kind of thing. I don't, you know, we don't want to have to experience something like that, but reality is that we do. You know, so it's learning to, I guess, really put it out there that, you know, I'm not someone that's I need to be heard. Firstly, if I say something, I mean it. And don't take me flippantly, and be careful about objectifying me and pulling people into line when they do that. And unfortunately, boundaries and speaking up is a big part of protecting your energy, and also kind of learning to exist in this world so that we can have pleasure, we can be quite powerful. I think this will also have a lot to do with the throat chakra. But yeah, it's been interesting that the thing that keeps coming up is pleasure and purity, and the sacral chakra, and looking at those things. So there's going to be some connect, I think. I hope we'll work through that a little bit today. So yeah, so please don't see this as an attack or anything, because like I said, that it's not actually just a gender thing. I think women do experience this a little bit more, especially the sexual predatory side of it. However, the men also experience it. They experience it when they have quite demanding partners, spouses who don't really consider their male partner's masculine partner, whatever. You're going to have to work out which gender you're talking about. It doesn't matter, actually, okay? But who will put all these demands, and it's like the husband kind of never sits down. As soon as they sit down to relax or do something for themselves, there's another job, there's another task, and it's like that never-ending, Americans call it the honey-do list. For Aussies out there, the honey-do list is like that. Please, honey, can you just do this? Honey, can you just do that? You know, so they call it a honey-do list. And it's that never-ending kind of list. And, you know, yeah. And it's quite unbalanced, really, you know. So, yeah, it's... Anyway, let's just see what we're talking about. But yeah, I think today, strangely, the thing that's come up is objectification, and really what it is. And let's just see what the Spirit has to say, because it's quite problematic, and it will destroy everything. Okay, I am going to pull these cards. We'll even pull these cards. Pay attention to it, but I'm not going to keep it. Oh, I don't know if I introduced myself. Sometimes I forgot. I actually had to stop the video and ended up closing the front door, and then I went back and I was like, close the back door. I don't know why I had to do that, but I've got the sage going, and I just felt like I needed, maybe it was just like a boundary. I just didn't want to call anybody into my space at the minute. And I just felt like, I don't know, I needed to close those doors. So maybe this is about boundaries, you know. When we are objectified, we have to consider how to say no and how to do it in a way that is what's the word? Politically kind of, I guess, correct, as polite as possible, but still very firm and clear, you know. Yeah. So, anyway, let's just see. So we have our temperance energy, which is fantastic. You know, temperance is that balance. They're balanced. They've got their 1 foot in the water, which is emotions, and then 1 foot on land, which is, you know, that materialism. They are pouring a cup into a cup, which is something they both hit. The one person is holding I think that's Archangel Michael. The sun is rising, things are looking happy. This is a great card of balanced energy. Yeah, so the particular things that are on this person as far as objects, talking about things, is we have our pyramid over the heart chakra, and we've got a circle over the third eye. So this is someone who has a very open heart space, and they also perceive very clearly. This person's not easily deceived, and they're very gentle at the same time. One thing about boundaries is that boundaries don't have to be angry and aggressive. Usually by the time someone is aggressively putting their boundaries across, it's usually because their boundaries have been so crossed over and over and over again, or someone's not being heard. So sometimes you unfortunately do have to stand up and stamp your foot and kind of lay down the law. And if that doesn't work, well, my friend, why are you still dealing with someone who won't listen to you? That's a pointless exercise, you know. I think it's really important to not put up with any individual any person, it doesn't matter who they are. It does not matter who they are. Not to have anyone in your energy who is going to disturb you or cross your boundaries and not respect you. Yeah, it's sad. Whoop. Okay, let's see. We're on the side, but I do feel need to pull these out. Okay. End of a cycle. This is important. It's kind of a good thing, the way this is reading at the minute. I want to pull these apart. End of a cycle for a false magician. Or not. When we look at the Magician card and the Magician card is in reverse, so in the upright, it's a really balanced, beautiful, a very powerful manifester who is manifesting good things. You know, everything is living. There's all this growth here. He's using heavenly knowledge. That's a scroll, right? And he's very balanced, and he uses all the elements, and there's growth. Everything grows around this person, and it's really a blessing from spirit. But in reverse, you have someone who is extremely manipulative, all right? Someone who has the ability of the magician, so you can still have the gifts, but someone who uses it in a very toxic way, someone who's very selfish, someone who is manipulating energy, because energy is just energy. But when it's in reverse, you have someone who is like, I just got that. It's like actually quite a dangerous person. But what I'm saying is that the world card, which is kind of this cycle, you know, karmic cycle or a learning cycle, whatever you want to call it, there's an end. There's an end to this manipulation. We have the Temperance card that is in the upright. Now, interesting that we have our Eight of Pentacles again, and this has been something, again, we'll probably be carrying on with a story that has been flowing so far. We have our Eight of Pentacles in reverse again. And what I'm seeing this, perceiving this as, is that this energy, if we want to look at astrological signs, that is a Sagittarius energy, the Temperance card. But this person is embodying the balanced person, and it looks like they're no longer needing to work on themselves as much, or they're just, there's an end of cycle. I'm not sure if this is going to be the same energy. And it's interesting, you've got the Star and Temperance as diagonal, but there's like this kind of a storyline going here. This is kind of like the reunion card, the offer, they often call that the reunion card, but where there's a little boy offering a cup with a pure flower. Okay, a white flower often represents purity. And he's handing it to the little girl. There's childlike energy, all the buildings, and there's a lot of like kind of poverty around them, but there is so much love here. They're all in the upright. They all have growth. And this is something that this little masculine energy, he's kind of, it's like, I keep saying like there's a stall, but it's like he's grown these in these cups. He's grown these cups of love, and he's handing one to the little girl. But in reverse, then there's this is not an ending, but it's certainly, there's no beginning. There's not a start of this, or it's just not going to happen, is what I'm being called to say. And I don't know why, because actually these energies are very good. This is becoming very good. There's no need to work anymore. And the Star, actually, okay, let's just look at these for a minute. Let's just say this is masculine energy, this is feminine energy. look what they're doing. These are two incredibly, I would almost say these are like a match. You have this star energy. She's got jugs. Sorry, just thinking jugs like boobs. Sorry, silly. But this energy, she's got so much abundance. And notice that both of them, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land, both of them are pouring water, one into the other. So he's self-sufficient. And this one has such an abundance that she's pouring more in and also watering the earth. Like this is going, it just overflows, but she's very serious. She's paying attention. She knows exactly what the balance is. And if I can kind of suggest like the water, it's almost like it runs around in a circle like this. So some of it's flowing back into the pond. But if it's almost like this is a never-ending cycle of she uses emotion to feed everyone around her, and it's abundant. The star is noted by the spirit world and recognized here. So yeah, these two are almost an exact match. Like that's a really, really cool thing. So to me, I'm looking at like almost like a masculine energy, feminine energy. There's no further work to be done on themselves, and yet there's no kind of, that's just the thing that keeps coming through my head. So it's just not going to happen. And I don't know why. I will have to clarify this. So anyway, let's just leave that there. Over here we've got the Fool. And I think this is kind of attached to this Magician energy just here. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is in reverse. So this is similar to the Judgment card where there's balance. This is someone who's giving very easily. To me, it's very similar to these energies where there's giving, right? And it's balanced, it's even, it's fair. Okay, it's all fair and well judged, all right? But it's in reverse. So there's a lot of imbalance. That's what there's imbalance, which is kind of what I discussed earlier. What we're looking at when there's imbalance. We've got the Fool card who's in the upright. This is someone who's ready to take a leap of faith, and yet the hand of God, spirit world, have said there's no beginning here. And I feel like this is like some kind of an energy. It's like there's readiness on one hand, but there is something where spirit, again, is just saying, I don't know if it's not yet, or it's just, all I can hear is it's not going to happen, and I don't know why. So let's just see if we can clarify a little bit. I'm going to use these cards. We'll see, because I don't know, I'd like to check in to see if there's any toxic energy here. And like I said, I think there's still maybe there is still some healing, although these look so balanced and even. I think these two energies are so beautiful. I'm going to say perfect. Like, so this is really spirit kind of pulling back and saying, I think there's still, I would suggest, because this is kind of like the karmic wheel, and there is something about this false magician, and that there was imbalance, that these are related, and there's something about these cups that have been put in reverse that I feel like there's a judgment. There's a judgment that needs to be fixed. Something still needs to be, there is something that still needs to be fixed, but it's not the internal work. There's just, it's like something on the physical plane. There's something on the physical plane. There's something that's been really imbalanced, and this magician energy is responsible for that. Even though this magician energy is in reverse, there's been a creation that this magician has manifested that needs to be corrected. So even though this fool, this one, is ready to take that leap of faith, the divine is saying, no, 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 no. I don't think so, buddy. It's saying no. This is not clarifying. Spirit. Actually, okay, been pulled. They might come out later. I'm gonna try these ones. I'm feeling quite like almost like a completion, like, and that's more like my reading. Maybe we won't get clarification. If you're watching this and you know what it's about, then maybe it's not for me to know. But I feel like someone knows what this is. But I am feeling the divine hand of God saying, kind of, well done, my good and faithful servant. However, something is still unbalanced or has been left unbalanced. Something needs to be made right. I'm not... Three of Cups. Now this didn't come out anyway, and I'm actually a little bit hesitant to put it anywhere, but apart from that, this is community. Something about a community. Three's a crowd, of course. That always comes up. Three's a crowd for me at the moment. And a community. There's a crowded community. Page of Cups. Here we go. Spirit's starting to speak. This is the Page of Wands. So I said Page of Cups. That Page of Cups keeps coming up. That was up with the last reading, wasn't it? This is Page of Wands, and what you can see is that this page is walking away from someone in the background. He doesn't want to walk away, but he's walked away. And this has come in reverse. Guys, Page of Cups. I can't make this happen, guys. This is kind of, you know, when Spirit speaks, and they speak. And look, that fish is normally in there and telling, and he's just jumped out. And yeah, and then we have a Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving knight in the deck, looking ahead, moving very, very slowly and very cautiously. Yeah. Please be specific. Okay. Wow. So this particular tarot deck, with our awakening card that I just picked up, in reverse again, this keeps coming in reverse, but this one's a lot more sinister. This is the Tomorrow Tarot. So it's all the normal tarot cards, but it's kind of depicts the picture of what's happened just after the original picture. This is fighting off demons, you know. But there's still devil energy. And this one is depicting the man and woman. It's that lust. Again, we're probably looking at sacral chakra stuff. But this is you've got a snake, you've got demons, you've got monsters, you've got, you know, yeah, all kinds of hellish types of stuff. And it's that lust and being chained to something. And I think Spirit is certainly saying, but it's interesting that there has been a lot of inner work. I'm not sure if I'm getting a second message now. It's more like this is the goal, but it can't happen unless there's work done. And maybe that's for both parties. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like, that's only a very small warning. I don't think that's the main thing. I actually do feel like we're going back to this, but there is this thing that you got to look towards that. They're looking towards each other. But the hand of God is saying, nah, not going to happen. And that's from the divine. Okay. Will. I feel like that's like, will you balance up? And also, there's got to be I guess that decision-making process, isn't it? It's that this is what has to happen. Surrender. Surrender. There has to be that surrender to the process. Or maybe you have surrender. I don't think so. I feel like it's Spirit saying there needs to be a surrendering still. There still needs to be, resilience and hunger. I think that's just the process, isn't it? We learn resilience through hunger, through kind of starving and suffering and going without. We develop resilience. We learn our lessons. It sucks though, doesn't it? It really sucks. Oy, oy, oy. Pleasure again. Guys, look at this. This card keeps coming up constantly. Constantly. I can't believe it. Like, if you've been watching and you're following through, then there's a very clear storyline, and there's really, this is just an ongoing. It's like, what's the next chapter of the story? You know, it's I really love it. But it is. Oh, sorry. Oops! I just kicked that it's probably slightly unbalanced, everything too. Never mind. I think it's mostly in still. Hui! Beginnings. Wisdom. It's falling on the Star card. There's something about that. It's the beginning of wisdom. This is the beginning of wisdom. It's like no further work to do. This one's kind of heading in that way. Look at that. Hui. Again, the unexpected. I'll just put that as a general energy. Put that to the side a little bit because it hasn't fallen out anywhere. Oh, the void. Okay. So really what I'm seeing and hearing is really that, okay, there is still, this describes to me the dark night of the soul. If you haven't heard that terminology, please go and look it up. Dark night of the soul. And this is what people don't talk about when you have a spiritual awakening, is that you have all this insight that suddenly rises up and you feel this great love and this beauty and everything from spirit. But then suddenly you fall into like this deep crevasse of despair. Is nothing less than that. And it's dark and you feel like you're very alone. And what happens is that this is a time when spirit really brings up to you in the most confronting kind of a way all of your shadow, okay? And shadow really is fear, the things that have caused you suffering, the things that have been holding you back. And it's a deeply important time, but it is awful. It is so hard. And here's from one I'm just coming out the other side of it. I'm just stepping outside of it. But for you, watcher, you may just be entering this. And this is a very, very important time, but it is incredibly painful. It's when spirit really lances that abscess, you know, and all this, you know, disgusting stuff comes out and you're just so confronted and it's mortifying. But the thing is that it's soothing. In the long run, it soothes you, because the worst part of an abscess is before it bursts. All right. It's the pressure. It's like a volcano. It's all that pressure. It builds up, and it hurts like hell. But as soon as you lance it, you get immediate relief. And that's really what that is. It's really kind of getting rid of all that junk. Sorry, that just flew over here. So, interestingly, kind of with that pleasure card, it's actually necessary to really start to have genuine satisfaction and true pleasure in life. This is actually an essential part of the process. If you want to, you know, you can fake it till you make it, right? But you don't effing make it, okay? You can't force this stuff. You can't force yourself to be happy. You can mask it, you can pretend it, but if you genuinely have pain and suffering within you, that never goes away until you heal it. It has to be healed for you to experience genuine pleasure. Look at this person. She's in light and she's just free. It's freedom. That's what freedom is. Whoop. Okay. And patience. Look, guys, I'm really going to leave it at that. I really want I think this is a little bit of a stinging message, I think, but these things are really important to look at, okay? So whether you've been both objectified, or you actually, maybe you haven't realized how you're objectifying others, these things are really important to look at, all right? If you want to have a genuine, true, open, honest pleasure in relationships, in your community, in everything, these things have to be healed. And then you will be free, okay? That's how you free yourself. And it's beautiful on the other side. It's the best, okay? It is the best. And it gets better. It gets better and better and better and better. I was thinking about doing a little prayer card. We'll do this and then we'll do a prayer card, and then I think we'll leave it. Because this is quite heavy today. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Sorry, I just split the deck. Here we go. Wow. And we'll leave it with those two. Here we have admit your vulnerabilities. And love yourself. And look at this. Live your soul, not a role. And I'm going to do this. Live life to the fullest. Okay? These things are how you do that. I am going to give a prayer card, because sometimes these really pinpoint as well. Oh, it's hard to do. Oh, we've got quite a few. Okay, we've got aging, and we have solitude, and we have service. So we have aging. I am one with unlimited love beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. Now, I don't know what Shakti is. I'm sorry, that's probably some New Age lingo, but I'm not familiar with it, so maybe you could look it up. So yeah, something about aging. Solitude. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. That feels quite twin flamey, to be honest, especially with the chasing, forcing and chasing, and it's like chaser, you know, that chasing, running kind of thing. Service. You stop using the universe. I'm being directed in my mind to think about the Magician card in reverse, which is using, you know, spiritual gifts and manipulating them. Sorry, start from the top. You stop using the universe and try to get what you want, and start asking love to use you. You offer all and want to be of service. Ironically, many desires become fulfilled without grasping or manipulation. So this is really a lot about releasing our old kind of, sometimes it's releasing old beliefs. And in Dark Night of the Soul, this is one of the things that gets really, really challenged, is that we get challenged to think about what our foundational values and beliefs are. And Spirit, trust me on this, Spirit challenges all of them. And we have to rethink and re-navigate and process why we do something, why we make decisions the way we do, what we're doing, and all that kind of stuff. It's really intense. It's hard work. It is hard work, my friends. It is a slog. It is really tough. But once you get through it, oh my God, things just become easier. Like I said, yesterday with this shed situation for me was one of those challenges. It was, I had two situations this week where I got challenged, and I actually felt quite objectified, and B, kind of challenged to stand my ground. And it was like the universe was asking me, how are you going to approach these situations in future? What are you telling us you want? Because when we accept sometimes less, Spirit simply just says, all right, she's accepted less, give her less. But you have to say no. You actually really, really have to say no to what you don't want. And they'll present you with options, and they will say, are you better now? And until you say no, they won't give it to you. You have to say no to what is not what you asked for. You need to say, no, that's not what I asked for. No, that's not what I asked for. And then they bring it to you. But you really have to do that, assertiveness and pushing back. It is a little bit of a testing from the spirit world. They will test you and say, are you going to accept the first thing we present to you? Which is strange. You think, why don't they just give it to me? It's because they want you to grow. They want you to have wisdom, okay? They want you to have wisdom, and they want you to learn the lesson. We're not on this earth to not learn, okay? We're here to learn. So it's really, really important. Anyway, I really do want to cut that short. I just didn't want to keep on going and ranting and raving too much. So my loves, we will continue, but for whatever reason, this is a really important message. We're thinking about what we desire, what we're asking of the universe, what we need to fix from our past mistakes sometimes, and also thinking about what objectification is. Objectification is not giving another living thing the respect that it deserves, really, including yourself. Okay, so you're always in my prayers. Anyone who comes here, you come, and I hope you leave with a feeling of there is hope, because healing is for everybody. Healing is for everybody. And don't forget to have a look at my WordPress site. This is another way to help you, okay? My WordPress, there's a little button on my YouTube page, and it'll take you to my WordPress site where there's all these messages, divinely channeled messages with a huge menu. Look at the menu. Let your eye draw you to what you need, what message you need. It is poetic in nature, so don't be surprised, but be ready, because they're very, very powerful. So use it. It's free. It's free for all, okay? I want you to heal. The purpose is for you to heal. So yeah. All right, my friends, take care. I really love you, and until next time, bye.